Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Money Hungry Mama podcast. I am so excited because I have Juliana here today. Juliana, take it away.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited. My name is Juliana. I am a family financial health coach. I help families tackle life transitions, their debt, and overall just be able to breathe again from the stress and emotional weight of our finances. I am married to my high school sweetheart. We've been together for coming up about like 15 years now. We have a sweet golden doodle who is our first child. And then we have our son, Mateo, who is about 2.5 years. Wow. A year and a half. No, we're farther than that. And he is so fun, so wild. I hear all the boy moms who are in the toddler years, they're like,
Mhm.
feral. That's the word. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I'm here. I'm here with the feral, amazing, sweet boy 2-year-old, but like he bounces off the walls.
I hear that. So my youngest, Lukey, he's 2.5. So I'm right there with you. That's the best term is feral.
Yes. Yeah. That's like the only way to put it.
And then they're also like so sweet sometimes too. But then sometimes you're like, what are you
He's the
doing?
sweetest. He's truly the sweetest little peanut,
Oh,
and
mm.
I'm so blessed with him, but he is very active.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. It's so true. It's so true. So, Juliana, tell us, how did you become a financial coach? Like, what was the story behind this?
So, my very first job right out of high school was as a bank teller, and I very quickly saw where debt and liquid cash, like money was different. Like it wasn't what I was taught and brought up to make it seem.
Hmm.
We used to throw me in the booth, where the cars would come up.
Yeah.
So that was like where I was always at. And I every weekend would have a bunch of people that would come up in like very luxurious cars and they say, okay, how are you? What am I in the negative? And then they'd give me the cash to cover that balance. So that kind of was like the first thing with when it comes to like financial literacy and how I should be using and spending money.
Hmm.
And that kind of just stuck with me. Going to college, I studied accounting. I got my master's, and then I hopped into the public accounting space. I started sitting for my CPA. I was doing all of the things to try. I was like, okay, I'm going to be a partner one day. Like, I'm going to climb the ladder and do all the
Hmm.
things.
Hmm.
And I so quickly, like, for one, burnt out.
Yeah.
When you first start an audit at those like large public accounting firms, the staff are like basically who are doing like a large amount of these audits. That's what I
Hmm.
can't remember if I said that, but I was an audit and it was just so busy. And then we had busy season where we were contractually obligated to work 50-hour minimum work weeks.
Wow.
So I was just super burnt out. The CPA exam was like literally ruined my life. And I just like, and this was only like a year and a half in.
Wow.
And I just remember going to my husband, like, I don't think I want to do this. I don't know what I want to do. I'm a little nervous. I don't know what other job I would have, but I do know that I don't want to sit for my CPA exam anymore. Cause I mean, there's so much time and also money that goes into like sitting for that.
Yeah.
So I was done. I was like, okay, we're not doing CPA anymore. I'm going to stay at my job, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I can just like stick it out and whatever.
Yeah.
So, fast forward a few years go by. I'm still at the same place. I have my son, and that changed me
Hmm.
in ways that I could have never been prepared for. I also had a very rough postpartum, which is like a whole other story for another day. But all of that mixed together, I was just like, I just want to be with my son. I just want to be
Hmm.
present for my family.
Hmm.
I was working remote. And at this point, I think I'm coming up at about 4 years at my job. I went back full time. I'm working remote. I don't have childcare because I was stubborn and didn't want childcare. I was like, I work remote. I can like take care of my baby. And I think he was about 4 months old. I was a few weeks only back at work after my maternity leave. And with him strapped to my chest, I registered my LLC. It was like, I need to do something. I need to start building something. So I did that. And then I kind of didn't do much with the business for a little while. And because I was so consumed with work, I
Hmm.
was really struggling because I didn't want to be there anymore. these big companies are laying off, putting more work onto the employees that are still
Mhm.
working there. And it wasn't until it was coming up almost on 5 years that I did 2 things. One, I actually took my business serious, and I was like, "Okay, I'm going to, like, get a logo and actually do, like, a Facebook page and get business
Mhm.
cards and start talking to people and say, like, instead of saying, 'I'm an auditor,' 'Hi, I'm, like, a family financial coach.'" I'm gonna start doing that. And 2 was I was gonna find a new job because I couldn't leave my work and just go full in on the business. I couldn't go full in on just being a stay-at-home mom.
Mhm.
We weren't there yet. But I was like, I can control the fact that I can get a new job that supports where I'm at in my life, that has way less work and can help me be able to have more mental capacity to
Mhm.
work on my business in the morning, on lunch breaks, and in the evening time. So that
Mhm.
is kind of exactly, not kind of, but that is my path of how I got to my financial coaching business.
Oh, I have like so many little questions that popped up as you were talking. So the first thing I want to ask is, where are you located?
I am in Virginia. I'm born and raised in Connecticut, but
Very
now
good.
the past 5 years, we've been living in Virginia. Love it.
Very cool. Okay. So, because I wanted to just bring that up for anybody that was like, oh, maybe I can sit and have coffee with her. So she is
Yeah.
located in Virginia. So, okay, man. The first things first is I think like sitting there listening to the first thing that stuck out was these people in these luxurious cars coming in to give you cash to make their accounts, up to date. What
Yeah.
did you take away from that?
I took away 2 things. One is funny because, we have these OG financial literacy coaches
Hmm.
who are very, like, anti-debt, don't
Hmm.
have any debt, and I'm not like that. I'm pro pay your bills.
Hmm.
You can leverage debt to have a lot of amazing things, to have a mortgage, to have a car, to, fix something that needs to get fixed. Like,
Hmm.
we can leverage debt. I'm not anti debt. So that was the one thing that stuck with me. And the second thing was a lot of people don't have liquid cash
Hmm.
and they don't have that buffer. They're using every cent that comes into their account. And
Yeah.
in this case, more than what they had. So those are kind of like,
Yeah.
those are the 2 things.
Yeah. And going off of that, I think that that is such a true thing, like living paycheck to paycheck. I think it might have meant something back in the day, but like this is like a true world where people are living paycheck to paycheck. What
Yeah.
would be your first tip of advice to somebody that's living paycheck to paycheck?
So, first, most likely, if there's either 2 things that are happening with that. One, you just have a lot of debt, so we have to put together a debt plan of how to make more liquid cash wiggle room.
Hmm.
So that would be our first step. The other thing could be sometimes I have clients that they don't have a ton of debt. They just have
Hmm.
no plan for their money and they're just spending it. They're like, brunch, Target, Amazon, like, they're just all over and they're
Guilty.
like yeah, so, like and that's always, like, my favorite client because I'm like, "Oh, we can just, like, have fun now and, like, build the plan," because you do have the
The
wiggle
funds.
space yeah, the funds to do so. Just, like, you've just never sat down to think about, like, "Oh, what do I wanna do with my money? How can I, like, get it to work for me?" So those are
Yeah.
kinda, like, the first 2 steps, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. And let's say like the mom listening, it is the debt. What would be your first tip for her to start getting rid of debt?
So there's a few different ways that you can tackle it. We all know you have like the snowball method and you tackle
Hmm.
it from your smallest balance to your largest balance and start going up that way. I like to get so each piece of debt
Hmm.
we can categorize it by that and see how it looks. But then you can also do it by what is the APR? Like, is there one piece of debt that might not be particularly your smallest that you would hit first, but you have so much interest hitting every month, so it makes sense to tackle
Hmm.
that first. Or if you have something that also is not your smallest piece of debt, but it's your largest monthly payment, because once you knock that out, you have more cash to
Hmm.
start knocking out the other pieces of debt. So I think it's always good to kind of play around and list them like, okay, this is the balance smallest to highest. This is the APR smallest to highest. This is the monthly payment smallest to highest, and kind of like play around. Because also our budget, I always like to think of it like it's a living, breathing being. Like it's
Mhm.
all like you should never, if you come to me and say like, oh, I have a budget and like it's the budget and I don't tweak it. No, you're not doing it right. Like you should constantly be going back and adding things and taking it off and changing it. It updates with our life.
Mhm.
So it's okay to start and you can even mix it as you go. Like, okay, I did this first piece of debt and I knocked out the highest monthly payment. So
Mhm.
now I'm gonna change it and do like that snowball method where I'm
Yeah.
taking out the smallest balance first and going from there. So you can like mix and match. But my biggest thing that I love to remind clients and remind people who are thinking about working with me is that one, I'm never going to tell you what to do. And I'm also going to try my best to give you all the different options. Like I'm not going to say like, you need to do X, Y, and Z. To sit down and talk about all the different options
Mhm.
and what works ultimately best for you because we all have different priorities. We all have different
Yeah.
wants and needs. Like maybe someone wants that really expensive car and they're okay with having a little bit bigger of a monthly payment, but they don't have a lot of other debts. So they're like, and they'll still have money left over. They're like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's, it's not my place to say, well, you shouldn't have an expensive car. It's my place to be like, okay, let me make sure that you getting this car doesn't keep you up at night and that you're
Yeah.
feeling confident about your decision.
Yeah. Well, I love that because I think for a while, I really tried to follow some big names, and I'll never put anybody down on the podcast. So some big names, and I felt like I'll never forget. I put a comment in the actual Facebook group, one of the ones that they were hosting, and I got berated by people that I even had credit cards, and I was like, hold up.
Yeah.
I'm literally coming for help because clearly I didn't know what I was doing. And now I'm here to be like, okay, how can I get out of this? And it was just very eye opening for me because I agree with you. I do think there's things in life where debt. It's never a good thing, but let's say your toilet breaks and it's like, okay, you don't have the funds to go fix your toilet. What are you supposed to do? Nothing?
Yeah.
And be like,
Yeah.
let me pay $10,000 of the only savings I have to fix this toilet. Or maybe you don't have any savings at all. And it's like, okay, well, this loan will be $100 a month. I could pick up a few door dashing shifts, or I could put extra time into the business that I'm building to try to get that $100. So I agree with
Yeah.
you. I don't necessarily think debt should be this evil, like never ever, especially somebody that has been there. Like, I don't have two pennies to rub together. I really needed something. So I
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely love that you are more welcoming to that and understanding of humans and their needs. And sometimes debt really is something that people you will have to have just to be able to survive. So
Yeah.
thank you for that because as somebody that really did try to get her debt under control, I was like, this, I will never come
And
and
it's
ask a question.
also, yeah. And the other thing too, it's like you don't know what you don't know. And
100%.
financial literacy, like our society has failed us with that.
Mhm.
They are so quick to hand us the credit cards and
Mhm.
approve us for homes that are probably not exactly in our price point and
Mhm.
buy this, buy that, keeping up with everything that's going on
Mhm.
when I feel like for the first time in probably ever, there's so many people who are now wanting to have these honest conversations and just want to learn and just want to be guided
100%.
and need support because they're like, listen, we're all struggling. We all have credit card debt. And a lot of the credit card debt is like groceries.
Mhm.
It's like, things that sometimes we're like, man, it wasn't like this big shopping thing, but even then if it is, it's like, in my opinion, I'm like, who cares? Let's pick up where you're at. I'll meet
Yep.
you wherever you're at and let's just build what you want with your
Mhm.
financial plan. And that's it.
100%. 100%. I love that so much. Okay, so now let's transition a little bit. I'm going back to your story. So you went from here, and my cousins did the CPA, and that was the same thing. They literally were locked in their rooms for
God
like
bless.
months at a time, could not do anything. So I understand. the stresses of that. Not personally, like, it wasn't me, but I watched them miss
You saw it.
holidays and yeah, like, locked in their room at my aunt's house, and I was like, "Hey, like, you wanna come eat dinner?" Like, "No!" And it's like this, like, gremlin came out, and I was like, "Ah, okay, I'll bring
And
you
that's,
food."
like, essentially the only way to do it. Like, everyone that I was
Yeah.
speaking to, they're like, "Oh, yeah, so just for, like, a year, you don't do anything." And I'm like, "I don't even know if that's worth it." Like, I don't think I wanna give you a year of my life to
Yeah,
pass this exam.
yeah. It was definitely something that's like, it has to be something that you love to be able to give up a year of your life, like 100%,
Yeah.
for sure. So, okay, so just wanted to touch on that because I literally like remember it was so funny on Christmas. I'm like knocking and like putting like I felt like Anna like knocking on Elsa's door, like, "Do you want to come and play?" And she's like, "No, get away from me." I was like, "Okay, here's your food."
Exactly.
But that's, like, exactly how I felt. And then now with the baby strapped on you, oh my gosh, mama's listening, like, is that not how so many of us started our businesses? Like, not wanting to leave the little nugget that you just made, and it's like, "Okay, I'm gonna give this my all now and make this real," and just because you just want to be you have to still provide. We live in a world where, like, gone are the days that we can just, like, not do nothing. But to
Yeah.
be able to do it on your terms and your freedom and your life, and I just think that that's so beautiful, like, knowing he was strapped on you, that's so sweet because I think so many of us started in that same spot.
Yeah, I had a whole plan going back to work, and, it included me getting a standing like, the rising desk and a walking pad, and then, once they start getting, like, a certain age, it was just like well, and even then, it's like, okay, 5 months, 4 months, it's
Mhm.
not that far in. That was not, a thing, but it
Yeah.
was hard. It was like me in a meeting, and I'm, like, popping my boob in his mouth, like, the desk is, like, this high, so, like, no one knows, like, my baby's on my lap, I am breastfeeding because I was also, like, nervous too, like, I didn't wanna get fired, I didn't wanna,
Yeah,
like,
of course.
get in trouble, which goes into a whole other conversation of, like, we as women do have some rights in regards to, like, breastfeeding and pumping and all of that in the workplace.
Mhm.
We and there's also other women who are advocating on that, so we know better about it, but I just remember I was like, "This is not sustainable, like, I can't do
100%.
this anymore."
100%, 100%. And it just that just hit home for me because, like, finding out I was pregnant, it just became game on. And it was like, that was like the moment. It was like, now I'm a money hungry mama and I'm going to do everything I possibly can to be present. And it's just like, it
Mm.
just hit very much home for me. So, okay, so now we're fast forwarding. We have your logo, we have your business. You had originally started your business. How did you start getting your name out there marketing wise?
Okay, so I started going to in-person networking events, and it was very exhausting. I did the Chamber, I did BNI, there's another in Nova, excuse me, of, like, these coffee meetups that
Mhm.
are pretty big. I was just going to stuff. I was, like, putting in a PTO hour here, going in the evening. It was super exhausting. I did that from for about, like, 7-ish months, and I then found Made for Mothers. I found them, in earlier this summer. I found that it I just it was perfect for me because, I literally was saying to, like, my husband, I'm like, "I feel like I'm going to these events.
Mm.
I'm getting nothing out of it more than a drink. Like,
Yeah.
like, these aren't my people. They don't understand me. They don't understand where I'm at in life. Everyone is, like, I don't know, networking events sometimes become very repetitive for
Mhm.
people, and they can be more of just, like, you're going there for a drink. Like,
Yeah.
like, it felt like I was trying to actually talk about work and business and stuff, and other people were not, like, in that headspace.
Yeah.
So it just felt very exhausting and very, like, it wasn't a good use of my time.
Yeah, for sure.
So I found Made from Others, and I was like, "Yes, these are my people." So, like, get in a room. That's first and foremost. Get in a room that, like, you have people who are supporting you, lifting you up,
Mhm.
helping you. So I got there, and I have not done any sort of in-person networking since then
Yeah.
because I'm just like, "This is a waste of my time."
Yeah, I love that online networking space. You definitely want to try out your areas, right? So
Yeah.
Juliana's in Virginia and it does not work for her, but then there's some in New Jersey that worked for other moms.
Yeah.
I would always say, like, at least try one or two and be like, okay, can I talk to these people? Can I get my name out here? Especially if you're a local service business. Like Juliana's online.
Yeah.
So she can literally online network all the time. So if you're a local service business, I would definitely try to go to a couple and, they are hit or miss. Like it
And
is
yeah,
what it is. Just like everything else, it's hit or miss. But as far as online networking communities, yeah, for sure, I would check out Made for Mothers, and then also the Mompreneur Table. You could definitely check that out as well. I love online networking, and why I love it is because you could be in your pajamas. Nobody
sitting on your
cares.
couch.
It's my
Yeah.
favorite. It's my favorite. It
Yes.
is so much fun for me because it's just like, you're all like there for the same purpose. You're building, you're talking, you're chatting. But at the same exact time, like I feel like there was also a stigma for me with in-person networking where it was like, I still do it, but there's a stigma of, oh my gosh, like what do I wear? Do I look okay? And like I felt
Yeah.
more of that than just like sitting here having a conversation of, yeah, so my business did this and this is what I'm working on and blah blah blah. So I definitely think
Yeah.
that's just something to take into consideration too.
Yeah. It is also such like I get so much out of being a part
Mhm.
of it with when it comes to like, masterminds and coaching and just coffee chats, all the different collaboration and everyone is just so helpful. And
Mhm.
finding my space has not only helped me to get like
Mhm.
to where I am, it really helped me like niche and think about the things that are important and what next step to take. But it's like just it's helped change me. I've
Sure.
grown, it's grown my business, the way I think about it all. It's been just like so beyond helpful. So get in your room, whatever that room is, get in there.
For sure, for sure. I feel like I'm like in so many rooms and it's because so many rooms are teaching different things and like talking about different things. And that's why I love it so much. So now, okay. So we have networking. What's another thing like social media is really working for you? What's another way of getting yourself out there marketing wise?
Right now, I've been starting ads. So just
Okay.
doing, and that was another thing taught was just low cost ads. I've been working with a business coach. Invest in yourself. That's another thing. Take that
Yeah.
leap because I feel
100%.
like I was scared to do it
Mhm.
and waited a lot longer probably than I should have. But I invested to work with someone who is doing what I want to be doing. And
Love it.
she helps me, she's putting my ads together and helping me strategize of because that whole like meta ads is like a whole
Yeah.
other
It's a
thing.
beast.
Yeah, I like looked in, I like poked my head in there and I was like, okay, bye. Like I don't know what's happening there.
It's
So
like it's trying to speak to me. I know it.
yeah. So I mean, like right now, as the holiday seasons are coming up as we're talking, I had a call with her yesterday and I was like, I really want to step back a little bit with actually having to like do a lot of posting
Mhm.
and having to like with one-on-ones with clients and stuff. I really want to be present for the holiday, but I do want to still show up and have some ads going. And she's like, okay, perfect. We're going to do some awareness ads and just have you present. So, and we can do that for like super, super low cost.
Mhm.
So I like last month, I think in total I spent like $70. So
Amazing.
it doesn't need to be this whole and that was with like 3 different reels that were going out.
Mhm.
So I'm learning about meta ads,
I love
adding
it.
that.
I love it. It's so funny because when I was first starting, I think I must have taken how many workshops, how many classes, how many online things that had to do with meta ads, and it's constantly changing. Like, guys, like, it's not a joke. Like, it is something
Mhm.
that I have to keep up with all the time because what worked for me 2 years ago, I'm gonna tell you right now, did not work for me when it came for Money Hungry Mama, and I was like, "Okay, back to the drawing board, back to
And
learning," and it's just always something.
yeah, and I also do think like take that and like invest into yourself, invest into your own
Mhm.
business, invest into your time by
100%.
giving it to someone else. Like I knew immediately,
Mm.
like, I'm not gonna be able to figure out this meta ads. Like, I'm gonna be
Mhm.
beep bopping along in there, having no idea what I'm doing. Whereas, like, I meet up with my coach and she walks me through it. She puts it together for me.
Mhm.
And, we strategize what I want out of the ad. Cause that's the other part too. It's like, if you don't know each different type of ad
Mhm.
that they offer, hire out. Don't be afraid to,
For sure.
talk to someone and be like, and it doesn't always need to be because I know this is what I was fearful of. This like huge package, like reach out to
Mhm.
someone who is doing something that you're like, oh, I trust this person, but I'm just starting out. I don't have a huge budget.
Mhm.
And they might be able to, depending on where they're at in their business and what they're offering, but like 9 times out of 10, they might be offering something that is at a starter level that could be super helpful and
For sure.
take time off your hands.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely, I think that's something that has been brought up a couple times on the podcast now. And it's like, yeah, delegate, right? Like, there's some things that if we can be really great at one thing, doesn't mean we need to be great at ads. Like, you can give that to somebody else. And yeah, that was such great advice. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, it's so, so true. So now how is your current business run? Like, is it Zooms? How is your current
Current
one-on-ones?
clientele one-on-one is gonna be all Zoom. I do still have my 9 to 5. So I work now, it's at a nonprofit. They're, like,
Cool.
super family yeah, I'm, like, literally just the accountant at a nonprofit. So they're very family oriented and
Beautiful.
but I still yeah, it's has taken off a lot of stress. It's done
Mhm.
exactly what I hoped that, I needed was, changing a job. But
100%.
I still have a 9 to 5. So, I do, evenings and weekend calls, and they're all Zoom. One day, I hope to, and I will, not hope, I will
Yep,
leave my
you
9 to
will.
5, and I'll be able to do some more, like, in-person stuff with people who are, closer to me.
Very cool. Very cool. So, for everybody listening, kinda to go over a layout of what they'll get from working with you on their finances.
So, the introductory call, it's called a financial audit. And that is putting together your game plan. So I will
Mhm.
send you your, loosely, I use the word homework. But before I call, I give you a questionnaire. It really just it asks questions to pull out what you're struggling with. And then also, what are your goals? Where do you want to
Mhm.
be short term and long term? So
Mhm.
that we can start putting together an action plan. And then it also has an Excel sheet. I am all about like super simple budget. It's not going to be something where, you know how sometimes you get these toolkits that people put out, which are wonderful, but they're for someone who's in a different place. So
Mhm.
my budget, super simple. It doesn't have like charts and graphs and, doing all the different things. It just like starting from that first step of
Mhm.
putting that together. Where is your money going? So I'll have you take out all your bank statements, your credit card statements. Let's figure out, make sure we have a list of all of your debts.
Yeah.
That's always an interesting one between the expenses and the debts, because sometimes there'll be something that we're like, I didn't even realize, like, I had this
Yes.
over here. So we'll start putting that together, and we'll put a plan
Mhm.
of this is your finances and where do you want to take it. And
Mhm.
from there, then we go into continuous coaching and then we'll start because we'll have the action plan in the financial audit. And then
Mhm.
from continuous coaching, then we can really start strategizing how your spending habits are, how we can
Mhm.
address and maybe change some spending habits and get you on your plan of where you want to be with all your goals.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I just think just like you said before, when it comes to like a business coach, like especially you're right. When we first started, I remember my first time ever doing taxes. And I was like, "What in the heck is this? Like, how is this not a high school class to be like, hey, like, you're working at 16 years old, you have to fill out taxes." Like, how is that nothing that was taught to me? And I just think there's so many things that we don't know. And sometimes I remember being in that spot, guys. Like I do. I remember being very, very scared to look at where my money was going because when I finally sat down and did it, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm spending more than I'm even making. But doing those moments, it was literally eye opening to be like, okay, I'm not in the right business. Like, I have to get
Yeah.
out there more to make more money. So, I really do believe in just like hiring a business coach, especially if it's something that you're very scared of. You don't really know what a lot of this means. And don't be ashamed because liquid assets, investing, all of it is
Wasn't
very, very
taught.
scary words. But people can sit there and explain it to you in a beautiful language, packed up bow that you understand. So it's like, okay, it doesn't have to be something that's so scary anymore. It could be something that
Mm,
you're taking a hold of and are like, okay, like I understand. And it's people like Juliana that are going to help you get there in that sense because it is scary talking about money. Because
yeah.
especially it was
It's
taboo, I feel like when
overwhelming.
we were younger.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's still, with a lot of older generations, it's like you bring up one thing and they're very much like, we don't talk about that. And it's like, well, I
Yeah.
need to talk about that. I'm confused. Like, I
Yeah,
need
like
some support. And that's
yeah.
another thing too, once you go into the continuous coaching part, because I mean, I can throw all this other stuff in the initial call, but it's just, again, it's too much. It's very
Mhm.
overwhelming. Once we, start working long term together, the other part that I'm very passionate about is like your full financial package. So
Mhm.
thinking about like, what kind of insurance? Do you have insurance? Do you have life insurance?
Oh,
Do you want to start
cool.
investing? Do you have a 401k versus, your Roth? Do you need credit repair because you want to buy a house? So I try to really touch on all of those areas of your full financial picture. I have referral partners that I keep up with them. They're wonderful. They're so passionate about what they, especially my referral partner for insurance. He is just so passionate. His whole team, they just love providing people with insurance. And I think
Yeah.
it's awesome in like health insurance, or not health, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, life insurance, especially. Like, these are things that we don't want to think about, but like
We need
yeah, it's like an act of love to get life insurance for your family. It's an act of love to start
100%.
setting up investments. So, and taking care of your future self. So, once we get into continuous coaching, that is something that we start discussing as well, so that I can connect you with the right people so that you can, like I said, get that full financial picture going.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just something definitely if you're sitting here and you're like, "Oh, like I'm confused about money." I definitely suggest that you reach out to a financial coach like Juliana and just understand it more, maybe even do some deep dive. The problem is YouTube is always great too, obviously. But the problem sometimes is there's so much information, it can also be overwhelming. So to be able to like talk to somebody who understands it, I definitely think as somebody who really struggled in the beginning and not understanding anything, highly, highly recommend to sit down and have a conversation and be like, what am I doing here? Like, how do I
A
even
lot
start a
of
budget?
yeah, and a lot of stuff online too, it's very black and white. It's very
Mhm.
like all cash or like high risk. I'm gonna
Yeah.
show you how
It's
to
scary.
like do I remember like when it was like the first year my husband and I were married, and there was this guy, this YouTube guy, and it was very like the bro finance of
Yeah.
getting into real estate, but he was just like, I'm gonna show you how like I do this whole, I don't know, he was like renting houses, but like, I mean, he made it
Oh,
sound like so great, but I was like, wait, but I also like don't understand what you're doing. So I feel like it's really hard to find someone who's in between where it's like,
mhm.
hey, if you want to call your credit cards, like I'll give you the scissors, but also if you just want to have like one
Yeah.
just in case, I
Yeah.
can show you which ones that are good out there and the
Mhm.
benefits of having which one. So it's hard to find someone who's like in the middle.
Yeah, it definitely is. It absolutely is hard to find somebody that like understands both sides of the coin, especially like I said, for somebody that was super in this a couple years ago. Oh my gosh, yeah, no, it's so true. For a mom that is wanting to start a business, what would you tell her?
Just start it
Mhm.
and figure it out as you go, but make sure you ask help. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to mess up, but just keep asking for help because it's so hard. There's so many different things. Like you said, like
Yeah.
with taxes, there's so many little different things when it
Mhm.
comes to starting a business. I remember one of the hardest parts was like figuring out like the order of like, okay, I have an LLC, and then
Yeah.
like I'm trying to get like a Google email, but like that was kind of a weird pivot that I had to get this other thing first.
Yeah.
So just don't be afraid to ask for help. Find your
Yeah.
room and find people that are doing it and can help guide you in it.
I love that. I love that. Find your room. Love it. Now, what does being a money hungry mama mean to you?
It means to go after your money, get it, and make it work for you. And whatever that means for your family, just make that money work for you and keep going after it.
Love that. Love that. Go after it. And how can our listeners support you, Juliana?
So you can find my website. It's fhscoach.com. And you can find me on Instagram at Your Financial Health Coach. I like to hang out there. I'm getting better with the whole posting thing. Because as you would think, the accountant is not that great with the content creation. But I'm having more fun on there now.
Good. Good. As you should, because it should just be you. That's it.
Yes.
It should be
Yes.
just be you that everybody's talking to all the time. I love it. Thank you so much for being on today. For
Thank
every
you.
mom that's getting ready for the holidays, do you have one tip for her financially to get ready for the holidays?
Make a list of every little party, every little person that you usually be honest. If you give your like mailman a gift, right? Put him on the list. It is okay. Be honest with yourself. And then just try to stick to that list. Plan out the little gift that you're planning. And then also don't be afraid to do something like create gifts that are low cost but look super pretty.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, honestly, I've been looking on Pinterest a lot too, guys, and Pinterest has incredible, basically Dollar Tree gift ideas that look insane. So that is
Yeah.
like a great way to go too.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for being on today, Juliana.
Thank you so much.